Hello, this is Dave, and welcome to Equities Story. I'm with Wolf, looking pretty in pink as ever, and this is just general share advice, not personal advice.
Time to go to Specsavers.
What was it? Is
Red.
that pink? Is that pink or a light?
Red and white.
All right, looks pink to me. But
Yeah,
anyway,
Specsavers, here we come.
all right. It's still pink. Well, that's pink. That's pink enough to be pink. But it's all right if you like pink. You like pink. There's nothing, no.
I hope you can tell the charts that are going up, not down, and getting not confused.
All right, go on, far away. Let's talk about some stories that we.
Well, let's talk about the market first. So, obviously, we need to just quickly go over last night's action, which wasn't too bad, thank God, because yesterday wasn't great. After the Friday finish, so we had a bit of a bounce. So
I mean, that's good price action, Wolf, to be honest.
Exactly.
Right, so if you can hold that by the end of the week, you're sort of breathing a sigh of relief. Whether that's going to happen, I don't know.
But I'll tell you what's driving this. I mean, this is the whole idea, because, you go charts. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I can tell you I'm much more sure when I see the actual results coming out from fundamental results out of the stuff, right? So for me, I'm thinking that so far the start has been actually very, very good from reporting from the US. So the banks reported actually quite well. That's why the Dow is actually looking good. And now it's, I suppose, up to the Nasdaq to deliver some of these good results as well, to maybe give us some stability in the markets, because I think the focus will be now on the company saying, okay, we know they've got wars, we know we've got friggin', all these little things going on, and the negatives are all around us. Can you give us some positivity? And I think the market could settle on going, if you can give us some nice updates from companies like your Microsofts, all the ones that have been holding up reasonably well, then maybe the market can stabilize a bit.
I mean, before this whole thing was getting a little bit scary. I mean, we had buy signals on Microsoft, we had buy signals on Apple, didn't we?
That's right.
So hopefully the market's got that price action right, and the announcements are going to be good, Wolf.
Yeah. So look, it's early days. I mean, we just don't know yet, but at least the early indications are positive. And from what I've been reading, what I've been hearing is, I think for the first time in about 12 months, that there's actually positive updates from the companies, and looking through as a positive guidance out there as well. So, I mean, I'm praying that we can settle down a bit and put some of these negatives to bed. But, it's going to be a pretty tough time. I'd still.
Oh, listen, it's just a balance, isn't it? With, unfortunately, the better things are, then the more higher the bond rates go. It's like everything. It's sort of so well balanced. Any good news is sort of bad news as well at the same time. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's good companies. That's all we've got to concentrate on. Good companies.
And this is exactly right. You've got these big good companies, and I think, again, I've been reading that Microsoft is up 30-something% over 12 months. When you compare to the markets, this is exactly why you be in Microsoft, because they are the ones that actually are the best companies. This is what you hold for the long term.
No, very good.
Yeah.
And Apple obviously looking good, Wolf, and things like obviously that NVO, which didn't do much last night, but at the end of the day could keep on firing.
Yeah, for sure.
I wonder what that LLY did actually. See if they they're a little bit better, so they're starting to move through. Okay, right.
Yeah. So let's have a look at our markets here, because we are on our struggle street. Because remember, we're not as prominent as the US market, so we just pick up the scraps. Let's go.
Right, and Bucks is in a trading halt.
Yeah. Look, remember, this is a little play that we're sort of liking, because we can see positive, maybe positive drilling results from a big project, and if that comes to fruition, then you could go for a little gallop. So they'll be looking at a pretty big system, I think, in the US, a porphyry type stuff. So if they can deliver something interesting, then I suppose we could go for a little trade. In trading halt, let's see what they come up with.
All right. Wolf, VHT, this is a story that we haven't spoken about this for a while.
Yeah.
And I suppose, it hasn't really put the lights out either, has it? And again, that price action is awful. So What's happening here, Mr. Wolf?
I wish I could just go, oh, it's just a bad company, but I can't, because it's actually not bad. It's growing its revenues, it's shrinking its losses, so it's going in the right direction. What it fails in, Dave, is the small cap syndrome and just a lack of investors, lack of interest in this space right now. That's why the chart looks like that. It's not a function because the company is bad. It's a function because there is just a tough time in the small cap space in Australia at the moment.
All right, let's talk about Gud, because Gud's looking good, and they've just acquired a company in Sweden.
Yep.
Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
What do you reckon?
Yeah, it's a lightning business. Look, they're expanding their horizon. GUD. Would I go to Sweden to buy something? I think what it cost them about 10 mil, I think. I don't know. I mean, obviously, if anything you expand overseas is always a big risk. I suppose Sweden is not a bad market to go for. It's probably one of the more transparent places out there. But I don't want the company. It's okay. Positive at the moment, isn't it? So I think it also gives a good dividend too. So you could possibly say, I'm still probably in this if I'm in that for some sort of reason. But I think there's better companies overall out there.
Yeah, and definitely a lighting company, which would be, I suppose, fairly seasonal in Sweden, when I think part of the year it's all dark, and then the other part of the year it's like you don't need to put the lights on, do you? So
no, unless you live in a cave.
Oh, so anyway, say no more. Right, Hub, great price action, Wolfie. Wow.
Yeah, it is great for action. Look, there's a good positive update today from Hub. So from their point of view, they're still growing quite strongly. They're still getting all those nice, strong inflows into their platforms. So you cannot mark them that way. The only thing you can mark them probably on is what's the price like, right? And they're expensive. They're not cheap. So value-wise, there is not much value in that, unless you take the really long view with with a caveat that they just keep performing year in, year out. But again, tradable, absolutely, really good tradable stock. But, if I'm looking in this market for some value, that's not it.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll tell you what, Wolfie, you want to trade value, don't you, in this market?
Right? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. This is why I'm so attracted to CAA. And I'm thinking, bad market, good market, CAA just gives you so much value, and the dividend, even if you're not, making any progress in your portfolio, you at least going to get a 10% dividend out of it. Right. So at least from that point of view, give me that any day.
All right. Okay.
Sorry, I just have to mention that again, but because it just ticks a very nice box, and that is that nice big fat dividend, even though the market might be going sideways, you're just going to get something out of this, right?
All right. Gold's been doing reasonably well the last week or so. Newcrest again up. But when does the takeover happen, Wolf? I
think it's not that far away. I think that they're going to be removed, I believe, but it's still got a report because it's still not there yet. I just was interested to see how they're going to finish up on, and I think they talked about 400 margins on all in sustaining costs, so pretty much everything, right? So I've just calculated they've basically on that 280,000 production they've made this quarter, $200 odd million, Dave, in a kitty straight away, right there. It's not bad, is it?
Yeah. Well, maybe watch out ALK.
Yeah, but you can see, right? You can see that there's money to be made in this really strong market, gold market still, if you can have good costs and have good production. That's why there's still going to be interest, and probably why the companies are merging at the moment. We've seen so many mergers. We've got Dacian yesterday. You've got all these things are happening. This is why it's still a pretty exciting place to be in.
All right, let's talk about Rio, because the price action is actually holding up well. I wouldn't be sort of trading this, but Wolf, here you go again. Look, I mean, you've got iron ore doing extremely well. It's actually up. So explain this to China's got all these issues. You're worried about the whole collapse there of the of the sort of building industry, but iron ore's still booming.
I tell you why. I think I finally worked it out. And that's got nothing to do with Rio. I've read SMR's report, so we're going to talk about SMR in a second. And what they said, because obviously, you know, they're talking about their coal, specifically their hard coking coal, and they said India is the place. Really strong production of steel, really, really strong. So the India's booming at the moment by the looks of things. You know, it's an economy that could easily be like China. So they are really, possibly that's where maybe some of the strength has gone to, where some of the iron ore possibly is looking quite good prices wise. So I'm finding little interesting tidbits of information that potentially can help us work out why we've got strength in some of these commodities. And yeah, I'm sort of understanding that India could be potentially not a bad little help to the iron ore price and coal prices as well. And I, you know, if you actually show everyone, just put out this SMR update, because they give you actually a chart of the coal prices just to give you an indicator where it's heading, right? And this is why SMR still looks fairly very good and probably getting better. There was a little chart on there with hard coking coal prices and PCI prices. This is their main two products that SMR is selling. So if you put it up, so everyone can see. That's why probably iron ore in a way is looking, and Rio is looking quite great, BHP, and that's why it's holding up.
That's the old SMR.
Yeah. Can we see that SMR announcement?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Please. Just to see the chart, because they've got the latest charts, right? It's actually quite good. They've got them both on there.
Just hold your horses, Wolf.
Yeah, no problem. And I'll quickly have a look at the actual, because there's something's happened to the trigonometry for me. I just can't see it properly. Let me see what's going on. Here we go. Indicators, commodities. Okay, so yeah, well, we've got iron ore at 119, right? And it's up this week 3.5%. I mean, it's ridiculous. But you go, why in China? Like, okay, well, maybe India, right? Maybe some other places are holding that all up. So you're having problems with your with the announcement. Okay, fair enough.
No, I've got it. There you go. Here we go.
Okay.
Just a little bit. For some reason, a bit slow today. Okay.
All right, so go down to that little. So the production was pretty steady, right, from previous quarter. But just go down to the actual charts, because that's for me that the key. Where are we heading with this? Right, there you go. So Platts, which you've got to pay a lot of money to get information off, right? Platts. This is why I like to look at these things, because sometimes it gives us even more information. Look at that HCC, which is hard coking coal, and look at the PCI. Prices are heading up. The previous quarter they were getting 250. Now they're getting closer to 350. And PCI the same. So if you look at SMR, where it's maybe heading next quarter, surely you'd be going possibly upside here from here on the chart.
Yeah, looks good. The only thing I would say, Wolf, I didn't want to ruin your.
Yeah, go on. You can ruin my bubble if you want.
I'll ruin your bubble. That's steel production in countries in May 2023. Now, India, you can see, is coming a little bit better, right? It's up 4.1%, right? Mm-hmm. So, but you can still see how powerful China is, 100%. Right? It's still, but that can change, right? So, you know, China's minus 7.3, and you've got Russia, obviously having to rebuild a lot of war airplanes and tanks and all that sort of stuff, and looks scary enough.
Yeah, but look, China, even though it's down 7.3, it's still a huge demand from China, right? There's not. Let's not kid ourselves. It's not going down to zero, right? There's still demand a lot of iron ore and steel, right, production in there. But it's good to see China quietly getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So this is why maybe there's that as
you mean India getting bigger.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry. Yeah, India.
Yeah. All right. No, it's interesting, but yeah, listen, I still think if China does have an issue, Wolf, it will affect the price. It has to.
100. Dave, they are the biggest ones, but I think for the moment, at least there is some of that slack taken up by other countries, right? Potentially. So yeah, if China goes bad from here, then you could see I suppose a big negative on the iron ore prices. But for the moment, the market's actually quite happy how things are.
Wolf, Cochlear.
Mm-hmm.
Now there was so many sort of a few years ago negative comments that the Chinese were going to, basically
kill the market,
take it, and the charts,
right?
Yeah, the chart's still doing really well. I mean, maybe I'll put this on a long-term chart and just have a look, see what they've been up to. I mean, okay, it's maybe a little bit sideways, but that breakout last month was.
Look, I don't mind this chart at all. Long term, okay. So this is again to the long term investors out there, right? The CIM investors, the Cincinnati investors methods, where you're looking. Look, I'm no problems with doing the monthly chart, the monthly trend lines, because you are effectively getting rid of the ups and downs in a short periods, right? Use the monthly. That's no problems. I've got no issues with that whatsoever, because you are going 3 years plus. And this looks pretty good, so I've got no issues with that at all.
Yeah, you've been in and out of it recently, but that breakout, the first time it's ever really broken out for the last impressive price action. And I suppose what's going on there is, I suppose, just revenue.
Yeah, it's a business that's possibly got out of that malaise, right, where they couldn't have access maybe to people's ears, right, because of COVID. But no, they do. They got much more, I suppose, freedom into do what they're doing. I think they had another little acquisition as well. And the result 2 months ago in August was the confirmation that they are back to growth, because they were pretty flat over the last 3 years, right? As you can see. So yeah, this could be the start of a new uptrend. It might not be, vertical uptrend, but at least it's a gentle uptrend. And I'm happy long-term stocks. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with the long-term gentle uptrends, because that's all I need from my stocks.
All right. Wolf, one stock that on the monthly doesn't look good, but it's starting to look a little bit better. I wouldn't be buying this, by the way.
No, I wouldn't. But the reason why I wanted to talk about it, because I talked about it about a week ago when they had that stake saying, we're going to give you 17.5 cents, right? And I said to you at the time, I said, this is okay, it's just such an opportunistic bite from stake. And I reckon someone else will be looking at it, right? Because it's just looks so cheap. And lo and behold, it's trading now way above that 17.5. So it's trading at 18.5 to 19 cents. And you look at the quarterly today, Dave, 28 million in revenues for full year, right? So you've got 30 million in revenues almost. Cash flow neutral. Surely someone would be looking at this going, very tasty morsel for 30 million in revenues to add to your position. If you can, extrapolate another 1 or 2 years, if you can, work on those costs, pretty big database of clients.
Well, I suppose they make money though if people are trading, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And there is a danger, sort of, in this environment. Maybe it could be a little bit less trading than in a really bullish environment, Wolf.
Yeah, yes, there could be. And, these sort of companies will probably be fairly cyclical, right? From period to period, depending on the market strengths, right? But I suppose from SWF, they are fairly well diversified. They can now trade American stocks as well. They've got investment schemes as well in there. So there is still that big database that we can cross-sell. So for someone like a stake, someone like other listed big brokers, companies in that finance space, this looks extremely attractive just from the database, just from the fact that they can cross-sell, just the fact they can get 30 million in revenues right away and grow just on that. And again, you tell me, Dave, you're buying this company on the cheap and in a very low cycle point. That's exactly when you should be buying companies. Exactly.
Yeah. And starting to get cash flow positive.
Exactly. Right? Exactly. This is why stake is, I reckon they'll come back or someone else will come back.
All right. On that note.
Anyway, it's not right now. Let's talk about quickly F1 Arena stuff, because there was 3 companies that had updates. So let's go through them quickly. 360, Morgan Stanley overweight, raises its target to 1150 from 1050. So obviously they're quite bullish on that. It's still holding trend. It has been a little bit weak because of the markets, but it's raised its price tag, which is nice, and they're pretty bullish on it, Dave. So I'm liking it. We're still holding it in the fund.
DSC.
Yep. Okay. So DSC obviously come up with their quarterly yesterday. I said I'm happy with it. There wasn't anything dangerous in there for me to go Microsoft's going to kill it. No. So it was going to be a little bit mixed. I think from yesterday they had that legacy partner moving out, so they lost clients, but they obviously gained clients through other means. So there was a mix, and I think Shaw and Partners are pretty much reiterating that they still got a price target of 35 cents, and they're still pretty happy with it, and they're saying that user growth accelerated in a quarter by 9%, up from 8% from the previous quarter. So all of that, I suppose it's okay. It's the legacy partners that's the headwinds right now. But if I'm in this, I'll probably still use that 24 cents maybe as my last line of defense.
All right, excellent. And lastly, but not least, EVN target price 350, really where it's trading.
Yep.
This is just going to move up and down with the gold price.
I mean, that's exactly what it is. It's a 350, but what gold price are you using in your assumptions for 350? Right. So it's all about where that thing is using. But at least what you're looking at here is the positive tone from the broker, right? And they're basically happy with how things are going. So just having a look, they've readjusted. Broker adjusts its gold price estimates, right, positively. And they saying that it's a low cost producer, which we know, and they're one of their favorites, I think, stories. So all up, look, you're still happy with it.
All right, Wolfie. On that note, listen, we've gone through the calls today. Mm-hmm. I think there's one story that we which I think really looks very standout on the charts. But again, I wouldn't be trading this. Look, it's expensive, like we talked about, and 35, a lot of resistance. So, unfortunately, nothing really for us to trade at the moment. Still quite liking that evolution idea for yesterday. Mm-hmm. And I suppose there's still a risk event at the moment, and which will unfold over the next 2 weeks.
That's right. That's why I think that's a strategy for us still stands. Just be cautious right now. We've had some volatility, one really good day, one really bad day, and vice versa, right? It's good to see at least the Dow, coming back. And like I said to you a little bit earlier, I hope that the reporting season in the US props up the market and says, guys, okay, there might be conflicts around the globe, but we're still going okay, right? Which at the end of the day, that's the most important things, right? Is the company, are they making still money? Are they actually still growing? So maybe that can give us some sort of comfort that the markets could stabilize. But it's still I'm with you there. I know over the next probably 2 weeks we're still going to see a lot of volatility.
On that note, Wolfie, thank you very, very much, and we'll see everyone tonight at 7 o'clock.
Yes.
See you then. Thank you.
Okay. See ya. Bye.